All right, good morning, guys. It is Monday, January 19th, 2026, and we are in the Sugarbush. One word, Sugarbush. Kind of funny that was a discussion on one of the Facebook pages the other day, and I looked it up. Sugarbush, all one word, and Sugar House, all one word, are the more accepted way to say it. And it actually said that Sugarbush two ways was non-typical or something like that. So because it can be a can be two things. It can be a stand of trees. Something else is like I can't remember what they said, but anyway, Sugarbush, one word. So if you like this video, please like and subscribe to the video, the channel, and leave a question or comment down below. So I'm Jared. I'm at Triple D Farms, which is also Triple D Maple and Triple D Cabins. It is January 19th. We have the day off for Martin Luther King Day from school. It is like 12 degrees in the morning, a little after 8 o'clock. So I'm out here doing some work. So this tree right here, if I put my hands up on it, it is more than 2 hands, okay? So it, by standards, is a 2-tap tree. And you'll see it has 2 drops on it. And I just took the spouts off because what I'm going to do is I'm going to make this a 1-tap tree, okay? I don't know, you might not be able to see good, but right here is a Y fitting, an actual Y fitting. So, and then you'll see this lighter colored line here. And it's right up against the tree real tight because the tree has grown. So what we used to do years ago, this tree was probably done at least 12 years ago, because this was done before the sugar house was built. And then what we've done is we have this line running into the saddle, but the tree has grown, so this line is pretty tight around the tree. But it's also 30P, which if you look at it, the color is way off. It's almost white. And if I look close at it, now this one's not as bad, but I can see in some of them, they look like they have like webbing or spiraling or something like that, where it just doesn't look good. It looks like they're deteriorating. Probably if I pulled hard enough, I could probably pop it out of the fitting right there. So this is the old way that we did it. I used to make a loop with a Y. But the problem with that is over time I've discovered that your drops are, so this one is actually designed, it's not bad. I mean, it works. That this drop is designed to work from the back to the front this way, and this one's designed to work from the front to the back this way. And if you make a spiral staircase, you can stay away from it. But more and more research is saying that two taps in a tree doesn't necessarily produce twice as much sap. Might produce more than one, but you're not really doubling. And new ways of doing things are always out there, because guys like me and guys like Nate Bissell, Scott Dunn, Crestview Maple, David Hughes, different people are doing videos. Nate Bissell has done a lot of videos where he's gone to other places. And other people have shared their way of doing things. So years ago, we started using plug tees. So this is a plug tee. This is the new LaPierre one, which is red. And it has a hole in that side, and it is plugged on this side. So they're left side plugged. And years ago, LaPierre made them, and I used them, and they were green. And they made right and left plug tees. The only problem with that was you had to know what you were doing. You had to pay attention to what you were doing, or you could put one in backwards. And my new way to do this loop, which we've been doing for years, we're not just starting it, So we're not just starting to use plug tees, and we're not just starting to use these. We use the end line hook, and I like these ones better. These are these are actually the only CDL product that I use. I just buy these from Bascom's or somewhere. Because they have a square head on them and they are easier to push on. So we're just going to take this and take the tubing and make a loop around the tree. And we're going to make it so it's got some slack out away from the tree. And we're going to put our end line hook on. We're going to use our two-handed tool. This is the Pruno auto tensioning cutting two-handed tool. So we're going to take that. I know you can't see. I was going to wear my my head camera, but I forgot the mount. I don't use those mounts too much when I'm not in the tractor or something like that. So we're going to push that on there. And then we're going to measure around. We're just going to go ahead and hook it, make a loop. And then we're going to cut the old stuff away. So I just got my little pruning shears. These are the best ones I've ever had. They say Anvil. I don't know if that's the brand or not. I have a package at the Sugar House. Got these are at Home Depot. I think they're like $7. When I got these, I got all the pairs they had. I think I got 5 pairs. I check once in a while when I go. Last time I checked, they did not have them. So hopefully they didn't. Then we're just going to slide that back a little bit. Look up here. Pull it out tight, and we're going to cut both of these off, trim a little bit off the blue one, and drop that out of the way. We're going to take our drop, put it on so the open side's going towards the main line, which is over there, and we're going to use our two-handed tool, clamp it on both sides. And then put it together. So these with the plug tee, when I'm on the right side of my main line, the stubby tee or whatever you call it, I guess that's the plug, goes away from me. And then we're just going to work it in there. Once in a while you have to help it a little bit, get started. And that's it, just like that. So then with my loop, it's pretty tight, pretty tight, not too bad, but you have the option, so then you can either hook it behind the spout, behind the tee, or you can hook it out here, which makes the loop a little bit bigger and also tightens the line up a little bit. That one looks pretty good like that. And then we're going to just cut this 30p and get it out of the way. So that's what we're doing. We're just kind of, so far, I've been just targeting these areas since Saturday. And we'll throw that over there, and my teenage helper will just come through, and I'll actually lay it over here by the main line. He'll just come through and walk along the main line and pick it all up. But as you can see, we have just a little dusting of snow, not much snow at all. So then this main line here that I'm working on is actually a 3/4 inch line. It was a LaPierre, used to make it. The guy, my dealer, he actually likes it. I don't like it. It's what they call pre-lashed. I just thought it was super, and I'm just going to move my loop up a little bit. I just thought the pre-lash was super annoying to work with. Putting saddles on is just, to me, is just a nightmare. So we'll turn the camera around here, and we'll see if I can get a good view. It's hard to pick a spot to set it. See if I can get a good view going this way. Just going to make a video here and you can see what we're doing to get ready for the season. Oh. Somehow the mount came undone. See if I can get it so I can see what we're working on. So the next one is going to be the whole thing. So you can see that white colored line. That is the whole line is 30p. So we'll do the headshot camera here some other day, maybe later today. I don't know. And the same thing. That tree is, I don't know. I can't tell from here if it's 2 taps. Looks like it was 2 taps. So I'm going to step over here, and then we'll do the little tree next to it as well. So this is 30p, the whole thing around. So being that it's 30p all the way, I'm going to replace the whole thing. So anyway, and I like to wrap my loop from the downhill side of the tree. I like to wrap my loop up and around. And we'll do this one real quick. So this one here has a hook, but it has a drop back here, and the drop's getting kind of short. So what we're going to do, this is it's a plug T even. So what we're going to do on this one is we're going to put the drop out in front of the hook. And so now it's a dead end. So the sap comes down. Okay, so these are dead end tees. So when the sap comes down out of the spout, I'm going to put the spout on. My helper went through and put all the spouts on, so I'm just going to take that spout off and put it on this one. So when the sap comes out of the spout, comes down, and it can only go this way to the main line. This side is plugged, it's dead end. Can't go that way around the tree. So that eliminates having sap trapped on the wrong side of the tree, because it'd probably go back there and freeze. So there's a little bit of talk about, Nate Bissell did a video with Dan Crocker, a couple videos of Dan Crocker, which are very good videos. You see how long this is? I mean, these were pre-made, pre-cut. I ordered these from, I hope I'm in the camera. These are off here. These are 40-inch drops. So I mean, this drop right here. So what we can do here is we can reset. So I see one there, and maybe one there. So what I would do, and if I was going to trap this tree, is I'd just crank this up a little bit, and I'd try to get up here as high as I can reach where nobody else can, and tap up there and reset my spiral, and I'd come down from there, and then I'd start working my spiral staircase around one way or the other. And by the time we get down here, there's one right there. By the time we get down, there's one there and one there. So by the time we get down here, the tree will have grown. And then also, if this ever gets loose, which isn't too bad right now, we can hook it over here and we could tighten it up a little bit. But the main line is going to get replaced probably, hopefully after this season. So we'll show you what we're going to do with that. So this 30p it's just old, and I'm not sure I trust it. And this actually doesn't look too bad, but it's definitely it's got some marks right here. Looks like maybe a chew hole right there. But it's way off color. So I'm assuming, that doesn't just mean that the sun faded it. There's obviously some deterioration going on. Take the spouts off. And we're going to cut this one back to 1 tap as well. So we're going to replace the whole thing. So we're going to take cutters, and we're just going to cut it. And then I do actually save these plug tees, plugs if they're on there. And then we'll just kind of cut this bearing over here. Just toss it under the other line. And a little bit out of camera, and then we just cut it off the saddle. Trim it right next to the saddle. We'll pull off the side fitting. You can't, and then we'll set it here. Now when we pick it up, we will take the slide fitting off. I don't have there's one thing I don't have with me is a hammer to get the side fittings apart. And if you just cut real easy on the top of the saddle, kind of score it, then you can take your cutters and you can actually break it the rest of the way, so you don't actually touch the fitting. 30p kind of breaks. You can get it off, and there's no, I don't know if you saw that or not, but I know you're too far away, but there's no damage to the saddle at all, so it'll be fine. And they are lop-ear saddles, so this whole line, but after this year, this whole, we're going to get rid of all the 3/4. So you've got like five lines of 3/4, so we're going to get rid of all the 3/4 after this year. So that means we'll replace the main line with 1 inch and replace all the saddles. And then any of these that don't reach for whatever reason, instead of using a slide fitting, we'll just use the hook, and we'll just make a little extension onto it. So for this one, we're going to put our hook on and wrap it around the tree from the downhill side. And then we'll put our drop on, then we'll pull it tight. So I'm not sure, I might not even have a slide fitting with me. I might have to go get one. But I wanted to show, I was going to make a video yesterday and I didn't. So I really want to make a video today and show what we're doing. So far, this is all I've done for 3 days. I started Saturday. My neighbors, Dana and Clayton, who are brothers, came over and helped tap on Saturday. They tapped about 4 hours, and then they went to do some of their own stuff, so that was good. So they just tapped, and I repaired, basically tried to repair it in front of them, which I did a pretty good job of staying in front of them. And then we'll just go ahead and cut the drop in, and then we can hook it on the outside of the drop. And that just keeps it from looping tight against the tree. You're doing it all new and you don't have to worry about the distance, it pulling too tight towards the main line. You can do it this way every time. Then the main line will pull it tight, and we'll have a nice big loop around the tree. And we won't have to worry about the tree growing into it or anything. Put my spout on before I forget. And these are lop-ear 90-degree spouts. I've been using them 4 or 5 years. I like them. Before that, I used the 130-degree spout, which are very similar to the CDL Smart Spout. The only problem, but they have a flat part on them that you hit, and man, they're hard on the tapping hammer. I have the aluminum tapping hammers with the nylon head, and boy, they're hard on that. The squareness of it or whatever, I don't know what it is about them, but it just took that nylon and just actually like broke pieces of it right out. So we switched these. Well, I do have 2 slide fittings with me. So then I just kind of take this. You can see how it's like twisted. I'm going to untwist it whatever way it's supposed to go. Get it nice and straight. Hook our slide fitting on the main line. And that's the other thing with this pre-lash is it's hard to do that. In order to do the pre-lash the right way, there's definitely got to be an added step to it, because it does not work the way that it's. You can't just put saddles on and go. And then we got to take our pliers and squeeze the slide fitting. Get that squeezed on there. And take our 2-handed tool. I think I might be just a little bit off camera. Sorry about that. Of course, it's got the active, so I'm using the Action 5, which is supposed to scan a little bit. So I'm not sure if it's working. Or take our 2-handed tool, put our tubing in there, and put it on the saddle. Just like that. There we go. So there's 2. What I've done? I've done 3 on the video, right? 2 loops. So I'm not sure why the 30p didn't get replaced when we went through and did drops the last time. But anyway, getting done this year. So that's what I've been doing. I've been making repairs. Those guys tapped. I don't know. They might have got 300 taps in. But it's cold. You know, the 10-day forecast is cold. Tomorrow I think it's like a high of 6, depending on which forecast you look at. I have school, of course, so I won't be out here, but I will be after school. I'm not sure if I want to come out and do repairs or if I want to go back and tap some of the spots that I have already repaired. I'm thinking about just tapping because I can come out and cruise through, you know, I'm not sure if it'll be 6 degrees when I get home or not, but cruise through tapping. 6-degree weather is a little bit better than being, you know, there wasn't, I don't have anything to do other than carry a drill and carry my little hammer and drill holes and pound them in. So I would be moving fairly quickly. Obviously would be able to stay warmer than if I was doing all this stuff. But that's what I've done. So far I have used, so I repaired those guys. I repaired with them over there on the other section. So right now I'm behind my house. And like I said, this all was done at least 12 years ago when we put the 3/4 in. And that was before I really started to go gung-ho big time. Just a little bit before, because then after that, after I used the 3/4, I went to 1 inch and I never looked back. We don't use 3/4 anymore. So there's like 1, 2, 3 lines here, and then 2 lines above the driveway. So they tap. So then I'm just like repairing. So then if they come back and tap this coming weekend, like, hey, those lines are ready, just rock and roll. But I used the entire roll of tubing. Let's say this one's not quite half gone so far doing repairs. And, you know, the 30p is just being replaced because it looks old. I mean, I know it is old. And some of it looks really bad. And it's like, boy, if that doesn't have a micro leak in it, I don't know what does, you know. And I also yesterday found a, so I use lop here. This is Flex 15, I think. Been using that for years. So the other thing we're doing is we are repairing. Okay, so most of the lateral lines here, the 5/16 lines here are blue. So we're making repairs with green. On the other side, we have 1,000 taps or so over there. Most of the lateral lines over there are green, and we'll be making repairs with blue. So then you look through, and if you look through, I mean, the green jumps right out. So you look through and it's like, okay, if you see green, then you know, chances are I've been there in the last, now we started doing, green drops last year, I think, or the year before. We bought a bunch of pre-made drops, and they were green. So they're the only thing. But if you see tubing other than drops, you know that the repairs have been made. And actually, the green drops are all plug tees. So they're the green plug tees, which are hard to see from a distance versus black. So that's what we're doing. We're just going through making repairs, trying to set ahead of the game. But over here, behind the camera, I found a piece of LaPierre. Right by, it looked like it had a chew hole, so it's probably a micro leak that I found. So I went ahead and replaced that entire thing with green. And we're just, you can see up here, there's one that's been replaced. Above me, I see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I see 5 more 30P lines. So we're going to replace all those and change the drops. And some of the trees are going to get cut back to 1 tap. And there's one tree there that's probably still going to stay 2 taps. It's a pretty big one. Maybe the top one. There's like two trees above me that are probably 30 inches. So we'll make those 2 taps probably. So the other thing that I've picked up on the video is that, watching other people's videos, is that Dan Crocker has done he does quite a bit of I don't know, research, I guess you call it, research of his own. And they're talking about keeping the lines on the south side of the tree. Not necessarily the taps, but the lines on the south side of the tree, so that they will thaw out. So if the sap freezes in the line, I'm pretty sure that's what he was talking about. He was on the Nate Bissell video. So if you tap the tree, you can tap it anywhere you want to. You know, if we're going to put a new drop on, so we'll probably tap up here somewhere. And the sap's going to come out of the tree and it's going to drop fine. Where it's going to start to build up is once it gets in the T, and then from down here. So this is where it's going to freeze. It's going to freeze up against the tree because the tree's cold. So it might freeze right in here. So he says if you keep this part on the south side, it'll be a little bit warmer, and it will keep it from, it might not keep it from freezing, but it will thaw quicker. Which is kind of interesting. You think about that. Does the south side have, the sun goes from east to west, but it doesn't do it, I guess it doesn't do it on the north side, right? So that's the thinking with that. It's pretty good, hey, he has 20-some thousand taps, and they've done, actual research where they've gone out and they look for that. They go out when it is frozen and look for areas that are having trouble thawing out. So I'm like, hey, that's, so I've been kind of doing that, trying, as I do this. And that's one thing, the thing about making your loop. So if I redo this one and I make my loop with my hook and my drop goes out here, it's away from the tree. A squirrel can't chew it as easy, right? The sap is here, and this, put my drop right here, and the sap's going to come down to here and go that way. The squirrel has less opportunity to chew it and get sap. It's away from the tree, so the tree's not blocking it from the sun, right? It's not up against the cold tree. And if it's away from the tree, then it's exposed, unless the south is behind the tree over there. If it's out here, if south is that way, or south is towards me, or south is that way, it has 3 ways that the south could be, and it would get the sun. So you think about that, that's like, okay, that makes even more sense, right? So that's what we're doing. And if it's away from the tree, you know, it's not going to be up against the cold tree freezing anyway. But anyway, we're going to call that a video, just kind of showing you some of the repairs that we do. We will show you some more. We'll show more of the tools in another video. Show you what we're up against. We don't have any snow. I mean, this is great to be out here right now. I want to get as much done as possible. My neighbor said, well, you're tapping kind of early, aren't you? I said, I want to get them in. Last year, we went from 5 days of 20 below to 50. And we weren't quite ready for it, and nobody was in the area was quite ready for it. So we want to be ahead of that. So we're about two weeks ahead of that. But 2023, I think we were working in the woods about the 24th or 25th of January, putting drops in. So we're a week ahead of that. So I think we're in good shape. We just gotta, and I think that this area, once I get through here, get the 30P all taken care of, there's a lot less. I think there's a lot less work to do above me. Now above the driveway, there's trees that are down, so we'll have to cut them out. But other than that, the tubing is in better shape, I think. But taking the time to get rid of the 30P is probably worth it. I'm hoping it's worth it. So that's what we're doing. Please like and subscribe to the video, and stay tuned for more from Triple D Farms, Triple D Maple, and Triple D Cabins. Have a great day. Thanks for watching.